Are you tired of living paycheck to paycheck? Do you dream of a luxurious lifestyle that's full of lavish vacations, massive homes, and expensive cars? If so, then get ready to take notes because we're about to reveal the 7 exclusive secrets of wealth building known only to billionaires. To be precise, we're going to share with you the top secrets that billionaires use to stay on top of their game. These are not just ordinary tips, but insider information that only a select few have access to. By the end of this video, you'll have the keys to unlock your own path towards wealth and success. Let's get started. Number 1. When building your wealth, don't use your own funds. Use someone else's. It's true that you can actually work your way up to making $1 million. Loads of jobs out there can help you hit that financial goal if you're willing to put in the time, work hard, and be smart about saving your money. Think professionals like lawyers, doctors, and tech engineers, for starters. We know they rake in some serious cash. But if you're aiming for $1 billion, that's a whole different ballgame. You have to learn the art of using other people's money to increase your wealth. It changes everything. And the hard truth is that you can't get to that level by simply relying on your salary. Number 2. Billionaires' obsession with success and money is on another level. Here's the deal. Aiming to be a billionaire means you've got to be all in, and we mean really all in. It's about giving up pretty much everything else in your life. Those precious family dinners and playtime with the kids will all become super rare. You've got to live and breathe competition to the point where you feel like you need to be always on the go. In fact, forget about getting a good night's sleep. Those are going to be few and far between for a long, long time. And the stress? It will be like nothing you've ever imagined. But all that really clicks for billionaires because they've got this unique way of thinking, They see life differently, kind of like it's made up of building blocks. And throughout each day, they're trying to figure out how to put them together just right because they know it'll lead to more wealth for them. To get what you want in life, you've got to figure out what that is and then become totally obsessed with it. But let's be honest, not many people go that far. But billionaires? They're on another level. They're crazy obsessed with getting rich. Their dedication to it is intense to the point where it's almost scary. Number 3. Stocks and luck won't put billions in your pockets. Back in the 80s and 90s, there was this popular piece of financial advice floating around. It said if you invest just $5 a day in the stock market from when you're 20 until you hit 65, you're guaranteed to become a millionaire. Sounds pretty simple, right? But here's the reality. Making it big with stocks really depends on starting with a decent chunk of money and playing the long game. Sure, the math checks out, but you've got to factor in how markets change and costs go up over time. So that kind of advice, while it looks good on paper, tends to oversimplify things and might end up being more misleading than helpful. It's always best to look at the whole picture. Just imagine this. Let's say someone paid $31,500 for their house back in the 1950s. When you adjust its market value to consider inflation, that same house costs around $877,000 today. 60 years later, that house can cost almost 30 times more. And yet, nothing changed in that house. It's pretty wild that just by sitting there, the house's value can be pretty much at par with what the pros make investing. Then, compare all that with saving $5 a day until you hit that $1 million retirement dream. Sounds cool, right? But if you think about it, by then, that million won't feel as big as it does right now. And getting lucky to become a millionaire? Sure, it can happen. But jumping from $1 million to $1 billion by sheer luck is virtually impossible. By the way, we're on a mission to inspire people like yourself to make generational wealth. So make sure to subscribe if that sounds like you. Number 4. You can be a millionaire through real estate, but what will make you a billionaire is private equity. There's this joke among the super rich that getting into real estate is what you do if you're a millionaire, but not exactly the sharpest tool in the shed. The thinking is that becoming a millionaire with real estate can happen because it doesn't really require being a genius. To put things in perspective, ask any millionaire and they'll probably tell you that a big chunk of their finances, like nearly half or even an entire half, is tied up in property. But if you chat with a billionaire, you'll find out that most of their massive fortune, we're talking over 70%, comes from running businesses or investing in private equity. So they prove that the real secret sauce to pumping up your net worth is to own and grow a business. Make it big, then use those new earnings to invest in other businesses. Keep that cycle going, and you'll be on your way to financial growth. Number 5, you make real money when there's a crisis. As we mentioned earlier, billionaires see the world differently than most of us. For starters, folks with less money tend to live day by day, while the middle class plans in months. On the flip side, the upper class thinks quarters ahead, the wealthy look at the years, and the ultra-rich make plans for decades. These distinctive mindsets explain why Warren Buffett's Berkshire Hathaway got some flack for its performance over the last 10 years. Critics were all about its huge cash pile, saying it was just losing value with inflation. But what many didn't realize was that Buffett was playing the long game. He was just sitting on that cash and waiting for the perfect moment to strike. He was okay with losing 1% to 3% each year because he understood that when a recession hit, and it always does, he'd get to snag companies at huge discounts. Basically, for big shots like Buffett, recessions are like hitting the jackpot on Black Friday, or maybe even getting the deal of the decade. Number 6, most billionaires don't start from scratch or aren't self-made. Getting to be super rich takes a ton of work, no doubt about it. But let's be real about it. A lot of billionaires got a bit of a head start. To be precise, many were born into money, went to the best schools, acquired all the right connections, and had safety nets that let them take big risks without worrying about failing. Take Jeff Bezos, for example, who got a sweet $250,000 from his parents to start his company. Or Elon Musk, whose dad was a multi-millionaire real estate guy. And let's not forget Bill Gates, who came from a pretty well-off family. So, while these folks did work hard to build their wealth, they also had a bit of an advantage from the get-go, which helped them hit it big faster than most people. After all, not stressing over where your next meal will come from gives you a leg up in life. And if you found this video useful, then you'll love these. And be sure to like this video to let the YouTube algorithm know you'd like to see more videos like this one.